biggest fish in Texas. About to get out here and get it in. I see the water. I know who the #1 fisherman is. Even big fish get caught. This lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy.
And that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades. You can see it with his shadow boxing.
Terence Crawford has delivered a chilling and direct message aimed squarely at Canelo Alvarez, making it clear that this fight isn't just about chasing another win, it's about targeting and tearing down a legacy that has dominated boxing for over a decade. With icy confidence in his unmatched hand speed, laser-sharp accuracy, and tactical brilliance, Crawford stated, "I'm a threat to him and his legacy." The undefeated multi-division champion is not just stepping up in weight, he's stepping up to shatter expectations. Confident in his superior boxing IQ and elusive style, Crawford believes Canelo won't be able to figure him out, let alone break him down. This isn't trash talk, it's a calculated shot across the bow aimed at every fighter in the elite tier, signaling Crawford's arrival as a serious disruptor.
Excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business. If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy, because it would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, your weight, no catch weight, no none of that, and dethrone you. So, he got that in the back of his head. This guy, for one, he's tough. For two, he's a boxer, he moves, he can punch, he can do it all.
Boxing icon Sugar Ray Leonard weighed in with high praise for Crawford, sharing a nuanced opinion on the weight gap between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. While the physical difference is undeniably significant, Leonard emphasized that boxing has always been more of a cerebral art than a simple contest of size. He pointed out that in the ring, strategy, sharp timing, and unwavering self-belief can neutralize even the most imposing physical advantages. Leonard clearly sees Crawford as a technician capable of solving the Canelo puzzle, adding that Crawford's ring IQ, composure, and adaptability position him as a serious threat. His remarks reflect the deep respect veteran fighters have for Crawford, men who understand that mental mastery is what defines greatness in this sport.
What about Crawford do you think can bridge the weight gap, or like with you, what did bridge the weight gap? Because a lot of people are just saying, hey, Canelo's just too big for someone like Terence.
That's true, but you know what? There's always a way. Put it that, there's always a way. There's always a way to win.
With the fight now officially confirmed, boxing analysts are digging deep into what promises to be a high-stakes showdown defined by dramatically contrasting styles. On one side, you have Canelo Alvarez, a fighter known for his raw knockout power, suffocating pressure, and perfectly timed counters. His patient yet destructive approach has dismantled many fighters, particularly those who hesitate or give him too much time to think. Canelo thrives on punishing indecision, he's a master at making opponents pay for every pause, and this style will be on full display when he faces Crawford.
Well, I think Canelo, he likes to go to the same combinations, quite repetitively, whereas Crawford is unpredictable, and despite him not having the size, it's the shots that you don't see that hurt the most, and maybe Crawford can hit him with some unexpected shit. And because of the repetitiveness of Canelo, maybe he can time him, maybe he can counter-punch with him, because Crawford is unbelievable at that. But I'm fascinated to see if Crawford has the power to get the respect of Canelo Alvarez, because when you don't, it's a long night. It's not nice. Like Crawford did well against Madrimov, and he won that fight for me quite clearly. But Madrimov was countering him. If you can counter the counter puncher, you can give them a lot of problems when they're not used to that. And Canelo can.
Terence Crawford, however, presents a completely different problem. His game is built around slick movement, razor-sharp angles, and a genius-level ability to manipulate momentum inside the ring. Experts suggest Crawford's best chance at controlling this bout lies in asserting dominance early through speed and volume, throwing combinations in rhythm and disrupting Canelo's calculated offense. If Crawford fails to impose himself early, though, the natural strength and bigger frame of Canelo could start taking a toll over the championship rounds. Still, Crawford's in-ring adaptability, lightning reflexes, and tactical acumen make him a rare opponent who can adjust on the fly. If he sticks to a disciplined and intelligent strategy, Crawford absolutely has the tools to outpoint Canelo in what is shaping up to be a masterclass in elite-level boxing.
Great as Terence Crawford is, we've never seen him in there with someone with the power of Canelo Alvarez. This is a different world of power. And look, maybe Canelo doesn't throw as many shots as he used to, and maybe Crawford might look at that and go, you know what, I'm going to try and outpoint this guy, not get into a war with him, but just show my boxing, genius and outpoint him and outland him. That's possible. It is. This is why this is such a fascinating matchup, man. We've been treated to some amazing fights. Usyk Fury, for example, this is another one of those mega fights on Riyadh season. Again, I'm disappointed for Jake Paul, but I am happy for boxing fans because, my God, this is the treat of the year.
Turki Alashik, the key Saudi official behind the global push to make the kingdom a sports powerhouse, was seen proudly standing between Canelo and Crawford, clearly savoring the moment. He declared that this upcoming September battle is destined to become a defining moment in modern boxing history. His endorsement doesn't just reflect enthusiasm, it amplifies the fight's magnitude on a global scale. By aligning himself with both fighters and ensuring maximum visibility, Alashik has transformed this bout into more than a clash between two great champions. It's now a centerpiece in the international expansion of boxing. His backing brings not only visibility but also considerable investment and expectation, turning this high-stakes matchup into a worldwide spectacle.
All right, gentlemen, and fists up. Terence, good, excellent, great. Wonderful.
Because we are true fighters.
Yeah, two fighters.
True fighters.
True, yeah, of course. No, I'm not YouTuber fighters.
Huh?
Not YouTuber fighters. Yeah, of course.
They need to talk and talk shit about the fight because they want to say something. The people know we are great fighters. We're going to put a great fucking fight. Yeah. We don't need to talk
I
shit about
am sure in the end, in the mid of September, we will have one of the greatest fights ever happen in boxing. And I am sure.
Yeah.
Terence Crawford's rise through some of boxing's deepest weight divisions is a masterclass in technical evolution and mental mastery. Capturing world titles across 3 weight classes while remaining undefeated, Crawford hasn't relied on brute force but instead on a sophisticated skill set that few in the sport can match. What sets him apart is his ability to study opponents mid-fight, analyze their habits, and make near-instant adjustments. His footwork is precise, his timing impeccable, and his ability to switch stances fluidly makes him a puzzle even elite fighters struggle to solve. Crawford is a tactician who knows how to control distance, dictate tempo, and force his opponents into errors, all while minimizing his own risks. This is not a brawler's resume, it's the blueprint of a boxing genius.
Crawford, on the other hand, he has been walking down his fighters, and people don't see that but me. For some reason, when I had that tape, people were screaming cat. And it's like David Ebenezer, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Gamboa, a meme machine. Even against Madrimov, the way he won the fight was by fighting. It wasn't Floyd Mayweather sticking. This guy has been too athletically gifted, and I mean explosive, hard punching, and too strong for his ops. When he's in orthodox, he boxes more. When he switched, he becomes a puncher. And now he's coming out southpaw. He ends you. He is not, you gotta watch him fight. He does do athletic things where his hands and his feet work together and he catches you for sure. But what he mostly do is he punishes and he bullies his ops because he walks you down and whips your ass. He's an ass whipper.
Crawford is not a knockout artist in the traditional sense, he doesn't chase the finish. Instead, he constructs it slowly, systematically deconstructing his opponents round by round. He exhausts them mentally with angles, pressures them with ring control, and then capitalizes when their concentration breaks. His in-ring intelligence allows him to shift momentum using small, calculated changes in pace or approach, often unnoticed by casual fans who prefer a more explosive style. But within the boxing community, among top trainers and analysts, Crawford is recognized as one of the most complete fighters of this generation. His brilliance doesn't rest on viral knockouts, it comes from his flawless application of technique, strategy, and timing. In a sport where championships are won by outthinking opponents as much as outpunching them, Crawford is in a league of his own.
Crawford, on the other hand, he has been walking down his fighters, and people don't see that but me. For some reason, when I had that tape, people were screaming cap. And it's like David Ebenezer, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Gamboa, a meme machine. Even against Madrimov, the way he won the fight was by fighting. It wasn't Floyd Mayweather sticking. This guy has been too athletically gifted, and I mean explosive, hard punching, and too strong for his ops. When he's in orthodox, he boxes more. When he switches, he becomes a puncher. And now he's coming out southpaw. He ends you. He is not, you gotta watch him fight. He does do athletic things where his hands and his feet work together, and he catches you for sure. But what he mostly do is he punishes and he bullies his ops, because he walks you down and whips your ass. He's an ass.
Rising fighter Nico Ali Walsh recently revealed details about Crawford's intense sparring sessions, where he's facing off against significantly heavier opponents in preparation for the Canelo clash. These sessions aren't just for endurance, they're about hardening his body, testing his resistance, and conditioning his reflexes to react under the kind of physical stress Canelo will bring. It's a tactical move aimed at reducing the shock factor on fight night. Rather than dreading the weight disparity, Crawford seems to be embracing the challenge, actively training his balance and timing to counter a bigger man's attack. It's not just physical preparation, it's psychological reinforcement. By confronting the size issue head-on in camp, Crawford is mentally fortifying himself to perform at his highest level when it counts most.
I think, people are going to watch it, so it's an exciting matchup.
And we have another mega fight, let's be honest, September. Canelo and Crawford, two guys
Yes.
been around that you've trained with and things like that.
Yes.
Fight.
That fight, everyone was siding towards Canelo. I would say it was like 80-20 people with Canelo before Canelo's last fight. But then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build-up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything, he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades. You can see it with his shadow boxing.
Stepping up in weight doesn't mean Crawford will abandon the identity that made him one of the most admired technicians in the sport. Trainers and analysts expect him to stick to what works: his sharp footwork, defensive mastery, and clinical counterpunching. Canelo, with his experience at 168 and above, will no doubt press forward with his trademark pressure and heavy body shots, trying to impose his physicality. But Crawford knows better than to meet brute strength with brute strength. If he gets caught trying to match power with power, he could fall into Canelo's trap and get clipped by a devastating counter. His path to victory will be found in angles, smart pacing, and perfectly timed counters. Staying calm, sticking to the plan, and using his ring IQ will allow Crawford to stay competitive and potentially dominate through precision, not aggression.
How is Terence Crawford going to beat Canelo Alvarez? We need to talk about it. When we look at the guys who've had success with Canelo, we'll look at Bivol, we'll look at Golovkin, we'll look at Floyd, and we'll look at Lara. Yes, I'll throw Lara in there, why not? I think all these fights are absolutely irrelevant coming into this bout. Some of them are just dated, or some of these guys' style just cannot apply. For example, a guy in Lara. If Crawford wanted to fight how Lara fought Canelo, he would probably gas out in 7 rounds, or if he made it 12, he just wouldn't get that decision. It's that simple. Let's take a guy in Golovkin. Crawford just simply does not have the punching power, nor do I think he has the gas tank at 68. He's not a good enough puncher to try to fight Canelo like Golovkin. He doesn't have the physical traits even in the chin department. Then you have Floyd Mayweather. While both can have a bit of similarities, the speed, reflexes, technical prowess, IQ, timing, counterpunching, lateral movement, it's just too much from Floyd. I don't think Bud could take much from Floyd's game plan to implement it into his own success in September. And then you have Dimitri. The speed, the technical prowess, the IQ, the length is too much. So essentially, Terence Crawford is going to have to beat Canelo in a way that nobody has ever beaten him or gave him any issues in. I'm gonna tell you exactly how Crawford's gonna fight. He's gonna fight like his damn self. It's too late in his career to change up the game plan. It's too late in his career for him to want to change up the game plan coming to a fight of this magnitude with a style he's never fought before. That would be a recipe for disaster. He's going to be more than likely off the back foot. He's going to be looking for counter shots. And I think there will be a point in this fight where he's simply just trying to survive. I like Crawford. He's an amazing pound-for-pound fighter. A different animal at 168. This is one of the greatest of all time. I see win scenarios for him, but I don't see him being realistic. I can see him fighting off the back foot, using his speed, timing, and feet to stay away from Canelo. But that's very, very, very unlikely, damn near impossible.
Veteran fighter Kell Brook, who's had the rare experience of facing both Gennady Golovkin and Terence Crawford, offered an insider's take on the kind of danger Canelo Alvarez presents. According to Brook, Canelo is far more than just a power puncher. He's a complete package that fuses overwhelming strength with advanced strategy and tactical poise. This makes him especially threatening because he doesn't just beat fighters physically, he breaks them mentally. Brook believes that Crawford's speed and technical skills give him a chance, but the real key lies in staying mentally sharp for every second of every round. Against a fighter as seasoned and calculating as Canelo, even a moment of hesitation could prove disastrous. This fight, Brook insists, is about more than who hits harder. It's a chess match where every decision, every angle, and every slip matters.
You know, it's a wow. It's a wow fight. You know what I mean? It's two supreme athletes fighting against each other, but you've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay, but when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but Crawford's very, very, very good.
You think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe outmoving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, he kind of sets his feet. He's just he's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather. But like I say, it's one of them what we've got to tune into and watch. Both unbelievable fighters, but I'd have to favour Canelo. Just his size and his experience and just his...
Renowned trainer Teddy Atlas weighed in with a balanced and thoughtful assessment, acknowledging the immense strengths both fighters bring to the table. While Canelo's advantages in size, power, and devastating bodywork are undeniable, Atlas sees Crawford as the more cerebral of the two. He referred to Crawford as a thinking man's fighter, someone who processes, adapts, and recalculates in real time. According to Atlas, this fight won't come down to one man steamrolling the other. Instead, it will hinge on who can successfully impose their style first. In his view, the bout is much closer than most fans and pundits are willing to admit, because both men are world-class in vastly different ways, and both are capable of dominating if the fight plays out on their terms.
He's too big, and Crawford, as good as he is, he stepped up with Matrimorph, and he struggled a little bit. He won, but it was more competitive. We thought, well, we didn't understand how good Matrimorph was because we underestimated him because he only had 10 pro fights, but he had 300 amateur fights. He was a good, solid fighter, right? And he's on this card, of course, but he was a good, solid fighter. We didn't understand that, so we started to knock down Crawford a little bit because our expectations were so high, and that's wrong. That's wrong. He won, he changed gears, he did what he had to do when he realized the level of this guy in front of him, and he got the win. But again, people are going to say Canelo's too big. He had trouble with a 154-pound guy when he went up from welterweight to that. So now he's going up to 168. Teddy, come on. How are you going to make an argument? You're going to make an argument to this, to the history of this sport, where little guys have been able to be big guys, because you reverse it. You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage. Yeah, the size, the power of Canelo, he's got the guy. Then all of a sudden you go back and you say, wait a minute.
Despite the overwhelming respect for Terence Crawford's boxing brain and technical gifts, there remains a large contingent of fans and analysts who believe Canelo Alvarez's size will be the deciding factor. Canelo has repeatedly proven his ability to take heavy punches from naturally bigger champions at 168 pounds and beyond, something Crawford has never experienced in live combat. Skeptics argue that no matter how skilled Crawford is, he may eventually be worn down by Canelo's relentless pressure, especially if he can't consistently land clean counters and keep moving. If Crawford slows down even slightly, they believe the physical strain will start shifting the fight's tempo in Canelo's favor, potentially turning a tactical battle into a war of attrition that benefits the bigger, stronger man.
A lot of people's picking Terence Crawford to beat Canelo. I'm curious, how many people are picking Terence Crawford to take a shot like this? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? That's the scary part about this fight. I don't know how Bud gonna react. This shit gonna jolt his body. I think this could potentially end the fight immediately. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't even imagine Terence Crawford laid out like this, but if a left hook like this lands flush on his jaw, I think he's gonna be unconscious. Not TKO, not, getting stopped by the ref. I think his body's gonna shut off. Is he gonna land this shot? I don't know. We gotta wait and see. But what I do know is Edgar Berlanga is a natural super middleweight, if not larger. He's 200 plus pounds. He's a linebacker. He took this shot and it put him straight on his ass. He went out for a second. He did. I gotta be honest. Edgar Berlanga body shut down for a second. He absolutely floored Berlanga with this shot. That is why I come to the conclusion, if Canelo lands this shot on a natural welterweight, I think his body's gonna shut off. You guys let me know, do you think Terence Crawford will be able to take a punch like this?
That wraps up today's analysis. Stay tuned, because this is only the beginning of a rivalry that could redefine the pound-for-pound debate. Both Crawford and Canelo bring championship-level tools and mental toughness to this mega fight. Whether it's brains versus brawn, timing versus pressure, or strategy versus size, the boxing world will be watching every second unfold. Don't blink.